Hello, welcome to Union Square. Alright, well, I wanted to come out here and enjoy the last few days of August, but it also means I can't talk too much or too loud. So this is a vlog I'm doing as I read the Quran. Just some background, I'm agnostic, raised Christian, Catholic, and I decided to start reading the Quran. I ought to know something about this religion that I really know very little about before I start criticizing it. So I thought it would be cool to just kind of go in from a really blank perspective, just go in and keep this little journal. So if you don't know, the Quran consists of 114 chapters. The first chapter is really short, it's like a paragraph, and then the second one's really long. So I read up to half of the second one. I wanted to finish the whole second chapter before I did this, but as far as I got. My impression so far, it's the Bible. There is zero difference between what I've read so far and any part of the Bible, especially the Old Testament. I mean, literally, it begins, and it could be a passage out of the Old Testament. It's God talking. God is very angry at people. He's angry, those have been unfaithful to him, but he's been so merciful. One thing I found interesting, and maybe I need to reread this part, maybe I read it out of context, but at least it jumped out at me at the first reading, was that Muhammad refers to his followers as the children of Israel. That's pretty cool. He talks about the plight of his people when they were suffering under Pharaoh in Egypt. So I mean, it's written for what we today would call a Jewish audience, or at least what Christians recognize as a Jewish thing. Trying to keep this low to not bother people. That's really unique. I guess the main difference I'm finding is it's more angry, particularly than the New Testament. It definitely says outright, those other people, they don't know the truth, you know the truth. And there's even one part that says how people who pretend to be faithful, God is mocking them, God mocks their laughter, or something to that effect. So I think that's dangerous. I think that's a bad thing, because it encourages the reader to be self-righteous in their religion and to think they know the truth and everyone else doesn't, that they get it, so to speak, which I think Christianity does as well, but in a more passive-aggressive kind of way. This just kind of comes out and says it. But I guess as far as the main issue, which is whether or not do I think it's true, I find it no more or less true than the Bible. That's my honest opinion. In fact, I guess you could say it's more likely to be true than Christianity is, because it's more consistent with the Old Testament. So I could believe God being vengeful and wrathful in the Old Testament and being it again in the Quran, and the New Testament was just a fluke in the middle. So this is my first vlog. I will keep you updated.